back to my channel. So today we have a story time, and as you can probably tell from the title, I'm going to be sharing a story about how I took my best friend's boyfriend, but it was by mistake, okay? This was not on purpose at all. Anyway, let's get right into it. This story time takes place in Ghana. At this point, I think I was 15. I think I was 14 going on to 15. I would do like an actual video describing what secondary school in Ghana was like, but honestly guys, it was probably one of the, it was the best experience I have ever had. I think out of all my school years and every single school I've been to, that year, because I was only there for a year and then I came to London, so that year was the best year of my life. I went through so much but it was worth it, okay? This was the first time ever in my life I was away from home. I didn't have any parental supervision. I could technically do what I want, not really, because you have teachers that lived in the school and like people that obviously had to take care of us, and you had your school mothers and stuff like that. I went to a school called Kumasi Girls. It's in a city called Kumasi, hence the name Kumasi Girls. I met this girl, I'm gonna call her Lena. We had a head girl, and with our head girl, it was almost, she's like the president of the school. You hardly see her. You only see her during assembly time, which was every morning, when you've done something really good, or if you're in big trouble. Her name was Abigail, and she was the nicest person. But of course, I was very much intimidated by her because she had a lot of power. Her aura, she came off very, what's the word? Very, you know when you see somebody and you're like, let me just look down. I don't want to blink in the wrong way in case I get in trouble. She wasn't a bully, like she wouldn't have done anything to us. But literally, if you see her walk past, you check that your clothing is okay, like you're not doing anything you're not supposed to do, because you could literally be in the biggest trouble. She was like the assistant headmistress, so you didn't want to mess with her. Do you get what I mean? And we never really saw her. I had the utmost respect for her. Even the seniors in Form 3, they had respect for her. So obviously, we knew you had to pattern up if Abigail was around, you know? Anywho, Lena, my best friend, she comes to school and she was brought to class by Sister Abigail, so automatically we all knew that this girl is an important someone, because Sister Abigail is not about to hold your hands and bring you to class. Who is you? Like, respect yourself, sis. But you could tell that they had some sort of relationship, so no one was trying to mess with her. Not like we were going to mess with her anyway, but no one was trying to mess with her because we knew that she was cool with Sister Abigail. And I guess she knew that as well. Now, Lena is also a very pretty girl. She would be like the Sharpay of the school. Like, if you watch High School Musical, like, she was very popular. Everyone wants to be her friend type thing. She knew she was cute. Like, you know, she carried herself like she was cute. I was the complete opposite of Lena. The complete opposite. I didn't really know how to make friends like that. I was very shy. I would never stand in front of anyone to talk to anyone. So she had all this confidence that I didn't have. So in a way, I kind of looked up to her. She was older than me as well. And so automatically, I was very drawn to her. We had sort of like a beauty pageant as well for the first years. And she was part of it again. And she won. Bear in mind, sis came like 3 weeks after school had started, like, so nobody really knew her like that for her to gather that many votes. But was she gonna lose? No, she was not. Not Lena. Someone that Sister Abigail's babes. You must be drunk. Of course she won. And so like a lot of people didn't like her. Mostly I kind of feel like some people were kind of jealous of her. But she also didn't have the best of attitude. So in the beginning, she wasn't horrible. Like, she wasn't mean to people. But she kind of carried herself. There was a bit of her. There was an air of arrogance around her. We became friends eventually. I'm not sure how, but we became close very quickly. very, very quickly. And as day went on, we got closer and closer and closer and closer. So I got to know her as a person. So people would tell me to not be friends with her, and I was like, that's my friend. You don't have to talk to her, but I will. This is my decision. So, you know, I kind of brushed it off a little bit. So I knew she had a boyfriend, obviously, because that was my best friend. And her boyfriend, let's call him Aro. That is actually his nickname, tag name, whatever you guys call it. But yeah, his name was Aro. He's a very cute boy. He attended a completely different school, because remember, my school is just a girls' school. He attended a boys' school, and it was OWAS. Now, if you don't know about Opoku Wari boys, get to know sis. Like, are you they were like the quarterbacks of a high school. You know, the football players that everybody's like, oh yeah, yeah. That was Opoku Wari. That's where my dad went to school. That's where my brother went to school. It was the thing, like, if you went to Opoku Wari, they had this. Oh, it's hard to explain, but it was very hard to find an Opoku Wari boy that was not cute. Like, they were all very cute. They all carried themselves like they were cute. Like, yum. Let's just say that. Okay, so he went to a school that had a lot of I don't know the word that I'm looking for, but if you went to that school, everyone sort of like respected you. And not only was he in that school, he was in his final year, and he was the cadet prefect. So cadets is, you know, the people that be matching the soldier people, gim people. Yeah, he was, I think, the cadets prefect or something along those lines. But he held a high position in that group, so people knew him. He was very popular. I think a lot of girls would kill to be his girlfriend. And guess whose boyfriend that was? Lena's. That was Lena's boyfriend. And although he was in a whole different school, when I say a whole different school, we weren't not even close, not even remotely close in terms of location. And guys, remember, we're in boarding school and we're first years, so we're not even allowed phones. Even the third years are not allowed phones, but obviously they're third years, so you know, they'll sneak phones and stuff like that. But she was able to talk to him whenever she wanted. She would get, I guess, like presents or letters or whatever it is. Like, their relationship, you didn't really feel the long distance as much as a regular degular schmegler first year would with her boyfriend, because how are you finna speak to him, sis? How? Unless he writes you letters. Yes, we wrote letters in school, and I still like that. I wish someone would write me letters now. And like sprays with like the nice fonts. Ghana was lit. Was they were able to keep in contact because Aro was best friends with our school prefect, Sister Abigail's boyfriend, or the boy that liked her. So technically, Lena and Abigail kind of had a thing in common, which is why Sister Abigail was looking at after her so much, because her boyfriend's best friend was dating Lena. So she kind of had a responsibility to make sure she was good, especially because she was the head girl. Like, it's kind of common sense, you know. Lena got away with everything. Like, honestly, everything that we couldn't get away with, she could get away with because of who she was dating. So one time now, my eye was hurting. So this is when I kind of had, let me be completely honest, yeah. My eye was not hurting. Everything was fine. I was good. But I wanted to go home. It had been so long. I wanted to be around my family, but I couldn't just use that excuse. I couldn't just go to my house prefect or house madam or whatever and say, oh, I want to go home. I miss my family. It does not work like that. You need an exit. And for you to have an exit, you need to have like an issue. Like, you're sick or something and you need to go home so you can go to doctors. And even then, they will decide if it's a good enough excuse or a good enough reason to authorize an exit for you to leave. If not, you can't leave the school premises. And I just wanted to be in my house. I was like, I want to go home, Da, 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 da. Cool, so I came up with this ridiculous idea that my eye hurting, I need to go to the eye doctor, blah, 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 blah. The problem that we had was there was a little bit of a problem. I didn't know my way home. Now, like I said earlier, I was very sheltered when I was at home. So I didn't know how I was going to get home. My mom drove me to school. She would drive me back home if I needed to. But obviously at this point I'm coming home by myself and I didn't know what I was going to do. So Lena, I don't even know how she ended up going home as well, because she was a boarding student as well. Lena was like, don't worry, like, I'll take you home, it's cool, da, da, da. And I was like, all right. She wanted to call her boyfriend, Aro. So she needed a phone to call him, right? This is where the by mistake came in. Okay, girl. So she took my phone and she called Aro. I saved the number immediately. Now, before you guys judge me, I didn't save the number because I wanted to take him, or I was thinking like I had any malicious intent. I saved the number because I was like, oh my gosh, like, Aro was on my phone. Like, I know his phone number now. That is like, wait, I have Ara's phone number? I'm gonna save it, you know, just not like I'm gonna call him, but like it was a bit of like a prestige thing to have. Like, oh my god, it was like having like a celebrity's number by mistake. Would you not save this? Even if you know that if you call him, he's not gonna pick up, you will save it. So that's what I did. I saved the number. Yes, I did, but I didn't call him. I didn't text him. I had no intentions of. I just kind of liked the fact that I was important enough to have his number, so I did. The next day now, obviously I went home. I went to, I think, my doctor to collect like a doctor's note, just because you need to go back to school with your doctor's note. And the next day I was just chilling, you know, doing nothing, and he called me. Now I knew it was him because me, I had saved his number, but he didn't know that. Okay, he didn't know that, and he didn't need to know that. Well, he's gonna know now, but it's a little bit too late. So I picked up, and this is exactly how the conversation went. Hello? I said again, I was like, hello? Yeah, who's this? And he was like, did you not save my number? And I was like, no, who is this? I don't know who this is. He was like, it's someone special. And I was like, how did you get my number? He's like, guys, this is the corniest thing anyone has ever said to me. But he said this. An angel gave me your number. This thing is that an angel gave him my number. And you know how I've been cheeky since birth. So I was like, was the angel Gabriel? Like, which one? Which of the angels was it? So now he burst out laughing because he wasn't expecting me to give him that response. But yeah, he was like, oh, it's Aro, you know, Lena's boyfriend. And I was like, oh, hi. You know, she's not with me today, so you can't really speak to her. Maybe you should wait when we go back to school or something. And she was like, no. I didn't call. Like, I know she's not with you. I called to speak to you. So I was like, oh, okay. Because it took me completely by surprise. Because obviously I knew a lot about him, but I didn't think that he knew anything about me. And even if he did, I didn't know what we were going to talk about. I had no idea what he looks like, by the way. None. I didn't know if he was skinny, if he was fat, if he was tall, if he was short. Nothing. I had no clue who this man was. So I was like, what are we going to talk about? But obviously I didn't say that, but I was just kind of like, okay, like, what's up? So he was like, you know, he wants to confide in me. And we just ended up talking for hours. So he told me how, you know, Lena wasn't treating him right. Lena was like sleeping with other people, you know, cheating on him. He was just basically was like, I really love her. I love her so much. Please, like, I just want you to talk to her. I'm not even trying to break up with her. Like, I just want her to change, you know, because that's basically the love of his life. And he wants me to speak to her and see if she would just calm down and stop talking to other boys and stuff, like, embarrassing. I was like, all right, cool. Now, bear in mind, this was kind of news to me. Like, I knew they were going through something, but you know, everybody always goes through something. I didn't know just how bad it was because, again, I was very naive, incredibly naive. I had never had a boyfriend before, never dated, like, nothing, right? So that's part of Lena's life. She kind of not necessarily hid from me, but she just wouldn't have those conversations with me. I guess because it wouldn't even bang. I wouldn't know what she was talking about. Like, I couldn't relate. I couldn't contribute to the conversation. Clueless. I was very clueless and very naive, and so Lena knew that. In that friendship, she was kind of like the ringleader, and I was like at the one that sort of like does everything that she says type thing, because that's just how the dynamics was. And I wasn't upset about it or anything. So when I got back to school, I sat her down. I was like, hey, you know, Ira called me, and she wasn't angry about it, because again, like I said, I was very naive, so she was never thinking even for a second that I was doing a thing with him, because to be fair, I wasn't. And I mean, if I was, I wasn't gonna come and tell her he called me, you know. So I sat her down. I was like, you know, maybe you should stop like sleeping with other people. He's really hurt. And the thing is, I also knew that she had all these privileges that she was enjoying because of him. You're kind of like untouchable because of your relationship with Sister Abigail, which is also possible because of, what did I name? Arrow, right? So you don't really want to mess that up. Like, that wasn't even necessarily my focus, but I kind of felt like, why would you want to mess up such a good thing? Like, this guy really loves you, and from what she would tell me, she loved him too. So I didn't get it. She got so pissed off, especially because I just wouldn't drop the matter. Like, every chance that I got, I would speak to her about it, because I felt so bad for him. From the way that he was pouring out his art to me, I knew he was really going through it, and I just wanted them to just be together. And I'm like, oh my God, like, can you just mention? She kind of got angry at me. She said, listen, she doesn't want me to talk about it anymore. She doesn't want to have a conversation about it anymore. Like, I should just drop it, right? So I did. Of course, like, if she would do something, or like I'll see her getting the message from other boys or anything like that, I'll just kind of be like, really, Lena? And she'll just kind of be like, I don't want to talk about it. And I'll just like, yes, ma'am. Now, I, at this point, had a phone in school. So we would talk, not a lot, but often, like maybe twice a week or something. She broke up with him finally. I think she must have cheated on him. He found out, confronted her about it again for the umpteenth time, and she was sick and tired of him. She was sick and tired of him complaining of her cheating, so she broke up with him. So he was like heartbroken or whatever. Cool. Anyway, by this time, him and I have formed a really good friendship. Like, we would talk a lot. We wouldn't talk about anything else other than like her, what he's doing, you know, how he's trying to cope and stuff like that. Nothing about us, by the way. Nothing at all. So the next, like, the events that unfolded after, I was very shocked. So then the next time I was like, okay, I need to go see my family again. But I just want to also say, because we were talking so much, and this was the first time I was very sort of like talking to a guy on the phone, just listening to him, I was starting to sort of like develop feelings for him, but I knew that that was wrong. Now, by this time as well, Lena and I had stopped being friends. She was being incredibly horrible to me. Something had happened, like I had done something. That's another story time. I had like a medical condition, let me put it at that had unfolded in secondary school, and Lena was laughing at me about it. Like, she was dead ass bullying me. Like, sis was bullying the heck out of me. For real. Like, we went from like really close friends to nothing. Like, she used to look at me like I was the dirt, the scum of the earth. And I hadn't done anything to her, you know, nothing. Because at this point, I hadn't even started developing feelings for Arrow. Nothing at all. So, I don't know what happened. I don't know. I had no idea. But yeah, she absolutely despised me. She hated my guts, even though I don't think I even had any guts. But yeah. So we were not friends anymore. We were not cool. But I still, when I did start to develop feelings for the guy, I still kind of felt guilty. I was like, you know, this is my ex-best friend. I can't, like, you know, like him or anything. So I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell him. Like, I just kept it to myself. And I was like, it's not going to go anywhere. Plus, I doubt he'd be interested in me, you know? So I didn't really say anything. One day, I left school again. I got an exit because I was sick and tired of being in school. I wanted to be home again. So I left. And again, I ain't know my way. I did not know my way. Lydia, I don't think she would mind. But yeah, so Lydia at the time, she was like a day student. So I didn't know my way, and she was like, I got you, girl. I'm gonna take you home. And she did, you know, she took me home. And before I got home, I called him and I was like, hey, you know, I'm out of school. And he was like, hey, okay, cool. Like, why are you not well? And I was like, yeah, I'm not really feeling well, but I kind of really wanted to be at home. And he was like, all right, cool. So by the time there was a stadium, there's a hotel next to my house, and it's called a sports stadium because it's closer to the stadium. My house is also close to the stadium, obviously. So, before I got home, he was there waiting for me because he's like, I'm going to be at the stadium. Just meet me there, right? Now, I don't know what I expected him to look like, but he was not what I expected him to look like. He was very tall. Well, he was taller than me, at least, right? And he was actually quite friendly and a little bit shy. And I was expecting him to be like, yeah, what's up? Like, yeah, it's me, Ara. And he was not like that at all. And I remember, like, I first saw him and I was like, hi. And he was like, what? Like, were you expecting something different? And I was just like, no, like, you know, like, I just don't know. You know, I was a bit shy. Now, I want you guys to know this as well. Lydia was also Lena's friend, right? So she was there with me when Ara came and said hi and whatnot. So she must have said hi as well, and then she left, right? Because obviously she wanted to give us privacy or whatever. But I think in her mind she was probably thinking, ding, 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 ding. What the hell going on? But obviously she knew that they were not together. But again, like I said, it's still a little bit, you know, you don't really do that because that was your friend. But anyway, so yeah, we ended up talking and he walked me home. So when I got home, my auntie was there, my older brother was there, and my grandmother was there. And my little brother, the last born, he was there, but he was in the living room. And everyone was there, and I was like, oh, hi, you know, this is Ira, this is my family. He said hi and everything. And they kind of, my older brother was asking him a lot of questions because, like I said, my older brother went to the same school that he was currently attending. And so they kind of bonded off of that, and they all kind of gave him space, as in they left the place for us to talk, just him and I. And I was gobsmacked. I was like, excuse me? The influence is also influencing my own family? Unbelievable. Because I didn't think that was ever going to be possible, first of all. But, yeah. So it was just him and I in the room now. Like, not in the room, like in the living room, speaking. So he started talking to me. And he started telling me this strange story. And his story was...